Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. It's already May, the draft is over, and it's football season's coming soon. August, right around the corner. A few things I want to touch up on. There's some news. Well, let's talk about the draft first. And getting the first two rounds went as quarterback, Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. Tampa Bay, of course, they need to hold their team. I think they just lost Martin, and they picked up Jameis Winston. Is he going to be the savior of the team? Now, see, quarterbacks in the last few years, blah. I mean, you got Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. I don't think they're going to be all that great, but like I said, they're going to be rookies. They're still learning the system. You never know; they might be the next Joe Montana. Last year, Johnny Football. Who else was there? Bridgewater from Minnesota. Minnesota reminds me of what happened to the Lions 20 years later. So, like I say, you can even date it back. Lions, great football team in the 50s. 20 years later, Minnesota, great football team in the 70s. You get Fran Tarkenton, Purple People Eaters. And then, Lions get Barry Sanders 20 years ago, and at the end of his career 20 years ago. They tried to build a team around Barry Sanders and do fairly well. Again, this is where Minnesota's in at AP near the end of his career, trying to build a team around him. I like Minnesota. I have nothing against Minnesota. I hate the Chicago Bears and I hate the Green Bay Packers. Those are the two teams that usually win the division, and usually Minnesota and Detroit usually scrape near the bottom. So but that's my opinion. But anyways, back to the quarterbacks. The last good quarterback that came out of the draft is probably Andrew Luck. Obviously, he was NFL ready. The quarterbacks you see like that once in a blue moon, NFL ready. And believe it or not, quarterbacks that usually, like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, you don't even get picked up in the draft or late in the draft. It's just a surpriser, and those are the ones that I like. Detroit's got one on the third string. They set all kinds of records on, in preseason. So we'll wait for him to start. But Matthew Stafford. Got to stick with him. Get rid of Orlowski, even though they signed him to a one-year deal. All right, so in the war room of the Lions, you got Martha Ford, and she just there. Before the draft even started, they brought in all these people that they like and see how their code of conduct was. Really nice people. If they had any conduct issues, they wouldn't go with it. So everyone they picked, don't have any background problems, problems with law, drugs, whatever. So they veered away from there. Titus Young, he just recently went through court after spending a year in jail. He's an ex-Lions. They used to fight in the locker room. He got kicked off the team for fighting in the locker room, and he just got 5 years probation. Another person. Rodney Austin, just this year. Last month, he just got arrested for assault on a woman and a child under 12. So, they kicked him. So they're going with, stellar people with great personalities who love their moms and stay out of trouble. So that's basically it. And another thing they're focusing on this year, since we were like 26th in the draft, or 26th in the run, last year in the offense, so we're building our run team. Like I said, Martha Ford is letting Jim Caldwell and Martin Mayhew to do most of the draft picks. They did most of the interviews, met most of the players, and they know who they're going to pick. Good, wholesome players. So I've never seen the Lions do that before, which is a good thing. So you never know. I mean. It just disgusts me, like Minnesota this year, last year they picked Bridgewater as quarterback, and they're building a team around it. Sort of reminds me of the Lions, 20 years ago after Barry Sanders left, or near his end of his career. Lions drafted Andre Ware, if you remember that. He was supposed to be the big. They wanted, a lot of teams wanted him, and what gets me, it's like the Titans. You know, a lot of people wanted Marcus Mariota. The Philadelphia Eagles offered him like 8 players, 8 trades, and they still wouldn't take him. Are you crazy? I would have took that in a heartbeat. You know, you need a team. There's nothing wrong with Metzenberger for Tennessee. I mean, you need so many players. I mean, you could have got some great quality players. A lot of people are saying, you know, this is a great pick, stick with your pick and go with the quarterback, but you already have a quarterback. So, it's like I said, if you don't know who Andre Ware is, you know, Google him. I'll tell you, it's horrible. So, all right, on that mental note, yeah, Philadelphia Eagles, man, they've been, we traded up and took Philadelphia's pick and for picks for next year. So I think Philadelphia is just planning for next year. So I'm not expecting them to do well this year. So just on that note, all right. Our first selection in the draft, we picked Laken Tomlinson. He's a guard out of Duke, which, you know, Duke's known for a basketball team, or a football team. I can't remember the last time anybody picked Duke first round, but like I said, we met with these players prior, and we traded down to pick up some picks. So Denver gave us, they wanted a higher pick, and we knew no one's going to pick Tomlinson. So, you know, we got an extra pick in the 5th round, which we ended up trading to Minnesota to get a higher pick. And so there's a lot of shuffling going on. But so our first round, Laken Tomlinson from Duke. He looks like a stout player. I saw some of his videos. A lot of locker room stuff. He seems to be more of a high-spirited guy. And I think that's what the Lions liked about him. That's why they picked the first round. All right, then we, of course, you know, like I said, we needed a running back. Reggie Bush gone, so second round we picked Ameer Abdullah. He's from Nebraska, and he chose number 21, Reggie Bush's number. So he still got number 21 in the background. Oh yeah, Tomlinson picked just today, announced today, picked number 72. But yeah, I guess numbers don't really matter. But you know, I thought it was kind of funny that Abdullah would pick Reggie Bush's number. But yeah, he seemed like a good runner. I had no problems with him. Like I say, he's from Nebraska. He looked pretty good. In our 3rd round, we picked Alex Carter, cornerback. You know, building the defense, that's one thing we needed. I said last video we would probably get a defensive tackle, go with the guard, running back, especially after, you know, losing Austin, you know, so definitely need to build that line. Then see, we got Carter, then round 4, and that was we got Carter from the pick from Minnesota, and then from the pick from Philadelphia, what I mentioned earlier, we grabbed Gabe Wright, our defensive tackle. Remember I told you, defensive tackle. From Auburn, 6'3", 300 pounds. He's a little bit shorter, like inch shorter than me, about the same weight. Yeah, bring it. No, yeah, right. But looks like another great pick. Like I said, you never know. Elodie Nato, we grabbed him from Baltimore, but we need someone to back up. He's, you know, you lose 2 defensive tackles and a defensive end. So we're building that defensive line as well. Let's say in the 5th round, we grabbed from the pick we got from our defensive end. We traded for Tampa. We grabbed a fullback from Rutgers, Michael Burton, because we lost Jed Collins. I think he went to Dallas. He only stuck around. We paid a 1-year contract. He stuck around 1 year. Dallas gave him a better offer. So the fullback, you know, to lead the blocking. Like I said, we're gonna go over the run this year. See how that works out. And then round 6, we picked Quandre Diggs, another cornerback from Texas. And round 7, Corey Robinson, a tackle from South Carolina. Like I said, we're going with the run. This year I can see, and good wholesome people, so we won't have to worry about any problems of misconduct or problems with law or drugs or anything like that. You know, another thing people say, oh, your defense is not going to be number 2. You know, you lost 2 defensive tackles. Yeah, Fairley, he was out last year. He played like 4 games before injuring himself. You know, he made a play on and then came out and did the Superman thing, and then he pulled a hamstring. But Sue, you know, great. We got Haloti Nana, which is good substitute. He's not Sue, but they're defensive tackles. You know, they stop the run. We got a guy from the Saints who Lions liked. I couldn't find any highlights. I'm going to see how that goes. Then we got a new rookie defensive tackle. So we're filling those holes that we need on defense. Everybody else, cornerbacks, safeties, even Van Noy will come in next year. He didn't play last year. So he's a rookie from last year. And he had surgery, so he will play. So we're getting some key players back next year. So if anything, our defense should be just as good, or if not better. Sue is a big part of the defense, and he will be missed. But I can't see paying, you know, like I said, I've stated before, over $100 million for a defensive tackle. So I think that's it. Let me go over briefly who we acquired. Of course, Haloti Nana from the Ravens. We got Manny Ramirez from the Broncos. That's part of the trade up on the first round. So we got him for free. He didn't fit their new scheme or something, but he's a good player, so can never use too many offensive linemen. Teron Walker, yeah, he's the guy from the Saints, the defensive tackle I was talking about. Yeah, we signed him for a 1-year deal for $1.75 million. And we got cornerback Josh Williams from the Falcons. We signed him for a 1-year deal, almost $1 million. And the players we lost, okay, we Austin, the guard, I just said, you know, he's in trouble with the law. Reggie Bush, you know, he got $2.5 million from San Francisco. You know, San Francisco, you know, we did the same deal with Reggie Bush, you know, and you get $2.5 million to stay healthy the first year, and he did, so he got $2.5 million. If you don't stay healthy, you only get $200,000. So he stayed healthy the first year, and then the second year he got it. So that's going to be the same thing in San Francisco, and they signed him the same exact deal. Then Jake Collins, went to Cowboys, $800,000 1 year. We lost Kellen Davis, tight end. He was, I think, practice squad, and he went to the Jets. Nick Fairley went to the Rams. Corey Hilliard went to the Jets. He was a tackle. I don't know much about that. George Johnson's the one that went to Tampa Bay. We got we grabbed him on free agent, and then we got some picks through the draft with Tampa on that one. So that was a good deal, both parts. You know, but he's a backup, but he did pretty good. So Garrett Reynolds went to another backup offensive lineman, went to the Rams, and of course Sue went to the Dolphins. And preseason starts August 13th. We got all night games, all Thursday night games. So we got one on Friday. So we got 3 Thursday night games and 1 Friday night game against the Jets, Washington, Jacksonville, Buffalo. And I wish we had these on regular season. That's for sure. Our regular season is just a little bit, you know, harder than I would like. But we played the AFC West great last year, or in 2011. So hopefully we'll do just as well this year. Well, that's about it for the day, and I know it's a little early for my videos than usual. I usually do that at the end of the month, but I've been doing some new graphics for next year's video, so stay tuned for that. So if you come back when season starts, all new setup, you'll thank me for it. All right, well, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you later. Peace.